Hi and welcome to this video. So every now and then I get people questioning me about some snippet of codes that I use in my tutorials, and because I don't want to make an entire video tutorial on how to learn programming in Python from the beginning, because I think there are too many of those resources out there and I don't want to add on to that. So instead of creating a course that is going to teach you Python from scratch, I'm going to create a playlist that has videos that is basically going to focus on snippets of Python tips and tricks. Okay, so the assumption here is that you already know how to program in Python, and then the type of videos I'm going to make is going to be videos that you can just learn from. Like, you watch one video and it's going to teach you a whole concept, and then you know when to apply it in your Python code. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you something called unboxing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do unboxing in Python. Let me delete this cell up here, and then I have unboxing up here. So I'm going to do a very simple example. Let's say I have the some numbers in a list. Okay, so I'm going to say nums is equal to 1 2 3 4 4. Okay, now when I come here and I say a b c d is equal to nums, sorry, is equal to nums. Okay, and then I come down here and I print what's in a, what's in b, what's in c, and then what is in d. You see that the expression up here, I said nums is equal to a list that contains 1 2 3 4 5, and then I came down here and I said a b c d is equal to num. So what's going to happen is Python is going to unbox. In other programming languages we call it spread. Okay, it is similar, a similar concept called spread, but in Python it's called unboxing. Now once I do a b c d is equal to nums, what's going to happen is Python expects that the number of variables on the left-hand side should be equal to the number of items in the list. And if that is the case, then it is going to assign the corresponding items in the list to the variables on the left. So what happens is A gets to hold 1, B 2, C 3, and then D 4. Okay, now this is a very simple thing that I believe most of you are aware of, and then you know how it works in Python. Let's go and then change the number of variables on the left and see if Python is going to give us an error. So it tells you that value error, too many values to unpack. So basically we try to unpack 4 items into 3 variables, and Python doesn't know what to do with the 4th one. Okay, so I mentioned that you always have to make sure that the receiving variables on the left hand side is equal to the number of items in your collection. And by collection here I mean a list or a tuple or a dictionary. Any of the collection data types in Python, including even a set, is going to work with the code snippet that is up there. Now this is not very interesting. Okay, one area where it shines is when you have a group of items in a collection, but you want to pass them to a function that takes individual parameters. This is too long a speech, so I'm going to create a function here. So let's say function display info. Okay, and then let's say display info is going to take something like someone's name, email, and then let's say department. Okay, and what's going to happen is I'm just going to print it out using f strings. F strings, I'll do another video on f strings, but basically it's just a way for you to format or do interpolation. So you print data and then you put the values that are contained in variables into whatever you are printing. Basically that is it. So I'll come here and I'll say name, and then I'm going to print the name, and then I'll come here and then I'll say email, and for email I'm going to put email here, and then I'll say department, and I'll put department here. Okay, so basically this is a very simple function up here. Now one way to call this function is to call it and then pass arguments to it. So if I say display info, and then I call it with Edward, and then I put my email address hackstockpy@gmail.com, and then I do department is, let's say, AI. Okay, now if I run this, you see that basically what happens is it's going to print it, and then it's going to do interpolation, putting in the values and the variables into the placeholders that we have in the print statement. This is all good, but it is not an interesting application of the unboxing that I showed you up there. Now what I'm going to do next is going to show you areas where you can use unboxing to your advantage. Okay, so let's say I have a tuple that holds a student information. So I'll say student is equal to, and I'm creating a tuple in Python. So I'll say Edward Pi, and I'll say hackstockpi@gmail.com, and my this um, department is artificial intelligence. Okay, now I come in here. I have this student tuple created. So I come down here and I call display info, and see what I'm going to do here. I'll say star student. This is where unboxing becomes sweeter. Okay, so what's happening here is when I precede a collection data type with star, Python is going to do unboxing. And because there are three items in the collection, to like the student tuple, like there are three items: my name, my email address, and then my department at work. So once I do star student, I call this function display info, and instead of passing the parameters one by one, I already have it contained in a collection, which is a tuple that I'm storing in the values in the variable student. So to unpack the content of student and give it to display info as argument, all that I have to do is to precede the collection data type with the star, and that is going to do the unboxing for me so that I don't have to call it one by one. Okay, now you may be wondering, does it only work on tuples? No, like I kept saying from the start, it works on any collection data type that you know of in Python. So let's say I want to call this function using keyword argument. I can say display info, and then I'll say name is equal to Rosina, and I'll say email is equal to, let's say, rose@gmail.com, and I can also say department is equal to psychology. Okay, now this is also a valid way of calling the function. Basically what I did was to pass keyword argument. So each of the argument or the parameters of the functions have a name, and so you supply the name and then the value that you want to give to that parameter when you call the function. This is all good. Okay, what if I already had this information stored in a dictionary? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a dictionary called record. And for record, I'll say name. Um, I'll say name is equal to, let's say, Rosina Pi, and I'll also say department is equal to psychology, and over here I'm going to say email is equal to rose@gmail.com. Don't try to email her, that's not her email address. Okay, now I have this record, which is a dictionary data type. Now I can use unboxing to also unbox the values, I mean the key value pairs from this dictionary into the function that we just created up there. Okay, so if I say display info, and then see how I'm going to do the unboxing of a dictionary. Now let's see what happens here. So you see that for unboxing any other collection data type, you just use one star. But for unboxing a dictionary, if you have heard of args and kwargs or keyword argument in Python, you know why I'm using two stars here. But basically, if you want to unbox the key value pairs of a dictionary, then you use two stars. So basically, you can see that it even makes the code cleaner and it is nicer because prior to calling the function, we already had a structure or a variable that stored the information that we are willing to pass to the function. So there was no need for us to get it one by one and pass it to the function when we invoke it. So basically, this is meant to be a short video that is going to teach you how to do unboxing, and I believe you understand it. I mean, let me do one more example so that you will also appreciate. So I'm going to show you how to use unboxing with zip. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do unboxing with zip. I want to change this into a cell that is a test cell, so I'm going to call it unboxing and zip. Okay, now let's say I have a list of tuples, and each tuple represent a record in a database. So I'm going to say database. Database is equal to a list of tuples, and each one is going to be a record on its own. So it's going to be a record of a student. So I'm going to say Edward Pi. I'll say hackstockpi at gmail.com, and I'll say department is artificial intelligence. Okay, and then I can also come here and I'll say Kofi Che. Okay, and I'll say Bra Kofi at gmail.com, and over here is project management, and I'm going to create a last one. I'm going to call Eugene Siedu, and his email is engineero at gmail.com, and he is at the front end engineering. Okay, now I have a database which is a list of tuples, and each tuple represents a record about, let's say, a student. Okay, now how can we use this together with zip? Unboxing and then zip. Okay, what I want to do here is I want to group the names together, the email addresses together, and the department together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say names, emails, department is equal to zip, and then I will unbox database. Okay, now what's going to happen is, you see, this is a list of tuples, and unboxing applies to a collection regardless of whatever is stored in there. So it happens that I have a list of tuples in here, but I can still unbox. When I unbox, I'm going to get each of the individual tuples coming into zip. And what the zip function does is, I think I'll do another video about the zip function if you don't know what it does, but basically I unbox the content of database and then I call zip on it. So what's going to happen is it's going to group the names together, the email addresses together, and then the department together. So let's print names and see what's in there. So you can see that now I have the names of everyone in my database, and I'm going to go ahead and print emails, and you also see that now I have a grouping of all the email addresses, and I will go ahead and then print department, and then you also see that I have a list of all the department of people in my database. So basically this is meant to be a short video, and I'm going to make a video specifically to teach you how to use the zip, the map, the filter, and reduce functions in Python. But basically this video is just supposed to teach you how to do unboxing. And so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.